Hello, welcome to Locked Up Love. The purpose of this video is to let you know what our special is for the month of June. June of 2016 marks the 9th anniversary of the CB line of products, some of which you may know, that we carry the CB3000, 6000S, and 6000. And in addition to each of those models, we carry the designer models, which could be chrome or camouflage or wood or some others. We also have developed anti-pullout devices that are exclusive to our shop here in Phoenix, Arizona. We will demonstrate what each of these anti-pullout devices are. And the first one, I will defer to my partner to describe what it is that we're offering.
Okay. Thank you. The CB6000 line, which came out in 2007, as mentioned, is made of a patented three-part ring assembly. It's actually quite complicated, but pretty simple once you get used to it. We have the cage, a ring that come with 5 different size rings, 2 base pieces, one that has guide pins that slip through the rings, like so, a second piece which fits over it to make a complete ring assembly, a lock pin, a spacer, and then finally the cage, and then the lock itself. The padlock on all of these items comes with 2 keys, and it makes a full set, and you're locked away pretty securely at that point. However, some men can actually escape from the back of the tube by pulling the penis out of the back. And we've come up with some solutions that will prevent that from happening. Back in 2009, a local inventor produced a device, and he called it the security insert. It's a round device that fits inside the tube of the CB6000 models, and there's also a variation specifically for the 3000, which has a slightly different shape. And the way this works is kind of like a Chinese finger trap. It's a solid material made from Delrin, which is used in the manufacture of weapons, and these rubbery sorts of pins that work like a Chinese finger trap. As the shaft of the penis goes through, it catches the foreskin on the way back out so that it can't actually pull out. It could be quite uncomfortable if you were to try to do so. There are 8 pins in the device. You can remove some of the pins for comfort. It would still be every bit as effective. You can shorten the pins or reshape the tips of them. However, whatever you need to do in order to make it comfortable to wear for the long term. The only downside of the insert is because it fits on the inside of the cage, of the tube part itself, it removes the diameter or minimizes the diameter of the tube. So if the shaft of the penis, when flaccid, is much more than 1 inch wide, it may not work for you. This device has done very well. It's satisfied or denied many of our customers quite effectively. However, some men have found that the device itself, they can't fit into it just for the size reason. That then inspired a second device, which we called the Flex Points, or the Baltus Flex Points, in honor of its inventor. It's a similar sort of idea. It uses the same rubber pins, but there's only 4 of them, and it replaces the second part of the base, including a countersink for the spacer, so that it fits as part of the ring assembly. The cage then fits over it as normal, and as you can see, hopefully you can see this all right, the rubber fingers slip down into the tube so that it doesn't really steal anything of the capacity of the tube, but it would still work as effectively if you try to pull out. Those pins could reach out, dig down into the foreskin and make it very difficult, if not impossible, to remove. This was actually tested by a PhD in South Carolina, who I would prefer not to name, and a test group, and they found that this would actually support the weight of about 10 pounds trying to pull on it, which I can't quite imagine anybody would want to do, but they were really impressed with the effectiveness of the product. We call this the Flex Points. We are reintroducing this as the Guardian for CB, as this was actually the inspiration for the Guardian for the Holy Trainer, which has been very successful, and people have been very happy with the product and what it does for them.
And for the month of June, what did you say you would be offering?
For the month of June, we are offering either one of these or the other two devices we're about to show you for free with the purchase of any CB full package this month, including the designer line, the gold, the chrome, camouflage woody, CB3000 and CB3000 pink. You can have your choice of the security device that suits your best needs. Moving along, we have a more inexpensive device, or a less expensive device. We call this the Security Points. What this was inspired by the Points of Intrigue that had originally come out with the CB2000 and CB3000 line way back in the days before the 6000. The manufacturer was very slow to come out with Points of Intrigue for the CB6000 models, but we came out with something that would work similarly. What we did was we came out with these points that effectively replaced the second part of the base. Now when you use these, you need to use they work seamlessly in place of the base 2. And I'm just putting it together here. And as you can see, the points sort of protrude down over the circumference of the tube itself. They are fairly sharp when delivered, but you can blunt them with an emery board or sandpaper or whatever you need to make it comfortable. But they would work every bit as effectively as the Points of Intrigue do, as it discourages somebody from trying to pull out.
Do you have different sizes for that?
Yeah, this comes in actually 2 sizes. The difference is about 1/8 of an inch, when you're talking about these devices, 1/8 of an inch is a whole lot of space. The larger points actually protrude a little bit further down, so if the shaft of your penis is lesser than average, it would work every bit as effectively to try to keep you from withdrawing. Okay.
And you will be offering that free for the month of June as well?
Yep.
With any purchase of a full package?
We would offer the set, the small and the larger points, as a free option. Okay, and then finally, while this is not specifically a anti-pullout device, from the same manufacturer, he came out with a reusable plastic lock. And the use for this is to get through metal detectors, specifically at airports, although since technology has kind of caught up with that, airports using the full body scanners would still detect that you have a CB on. But if you're going through a conventional metal detector, like what might be still in use at a courthouse, for example, you would be able to wear one of these with this reusable lock and get through undetected. Now this lock is very elegant. It's much smaller than the padlock, as you can see. It's also not going to rattle around as the padlock would tend to do. It comes with one key, or optionally a second key, and these keys are, although they're not unique, they are made in a batch. If you were to order a single key now and lose the key, there's a possibility that we will not be able to replace it. And we had an amusing story once from a customer that
You'll have to check our blog for the story.
yeah, that was a funny story. Sorry. So, the reusable plastic lock is one of a kind. There is nothing else out on the market that we're aware of to match it. To use this, you have to use the next longer lock pin than you would normally use in order to accommodate the spacer. You can use the reusable plastic lock in conjunction with the security points or the flex points, Guardian, or even the insert if you choose. So, all that said, we have these available and ready to ship this month, and they're free for the rest of June of 2016. That concludes our video. Thank you very much for your attention. We welcome your feedback. You may call us toll-free anywhere within North America at 855-458-5683 or 4LULove. Contact us by email too at support@LockedUpLove.com. We're happy to help you. Thank you very much. See you next month.